What is up, farming family? How y'all doing today? Today, we're checking out the Paddletek Bantam, the TKO-C 12.7 millimeter, and the 14.3 millimeter. I played with the 12.7 more because I fancied it more. So I'm going to be talking about it more than I am the 14 millimeter. But yeah, this is not a thermoformed paddle and it hits really hard. So stay tuned for all the numbers like the twist weight. That's going to surprise you. The swing weight's pretty decent and the RPM numbers. But let's get into this. First thing I'm going to talk about is the pop. Now, when it comes to the 12.7, or we're just going to call them 12 millimeters and 14 millimeters to make it easier for the review. For the 12 millimeter, it's in the top 5 of pop. If you heard my Annalie Waters paddle review, you heard me say that 12 millimeter was in the top 5 pop. The ball launches off the face in terms of speed ups and stuff like that. It's going to be phenomenal. Now, in terms of the 14 millimeter, the pop wasn't nowhere near as good as it was on the 12 millimeter. So if you're wanting something with a little more pop, the 12 millimeter would be what I'd lean to. But if you're wanting something with a little less pop, I would skip the 14 millimeter and go to something else. Now, when it comes to power, I didn't feel that the 14 millimeter had any more power than the 12 millimeter did. I felt like the 12 millimeter had a lot of power and the 14 millimeter kind of mimicked it. Now, the Annalie Waters paddle, when I reviewed it weeks ago, I said that it had a decent amount of power for the shape it is. Well, this paddle has even more power. So most paddles will have pop or no power, or have more power, less pop. This paddle has both of them. So in terms of, the power and the pop, I would lean towards the 12 millimeter. You guys are going to see me say that throughout this whole review for the most part. All right, when it comes to control, the 14 millimeter is obviously going to have less pop than a 12 millimeter. That just happens. And the 12 millimeter is going to be really hard to control. Now, if you're switching between other paddles and this paddle and you can't just commit to one paddle, just move on. You don't need this paddle. It's going to be uncontrollable for you. But if you're going to buy this paddle and this is going to be the only paddle you play with and you're going to focus and learn how to control it, this paddle will be a weapon. Just know it is going to take a lot of effort to learn how to control it. Is it worth it? In the long run, I think it is. Now with the 14, I wouldn't even bother. It's a little bit less poppy, but if you're going to get the 14 millimeter of this paddle, I would recommend other paddles to you instead. When it came to the spin, the 12 millimeter got 2,030 and the 14 millimeter got 1,989. So what you're getting out of this is both of them are getting crazy good spin. The thinner paddle is generating more spin, like a decent amount more, but not enough to where you're going to feel it doing your drives and stuff like that. When we're doing these RPM numbers, we're smacking the ball as hard as we can for the serves, for them to go in to count the RPMs. So most people aren't going to get these RPM numbers just doing your drives and stuff like that. But anything 1800 plus is going to be good spin. So just know the spin's not going to be lacking. You're going to get all the shape you want on your flicks and stuff that, to utilize the pop from these paddles. When it came to the swing weights of these paddles, the 12 millimeter swing weight was 119 and the 14 millimeter swing weight was 118. Somehow Paddletek has figured out how to make the thinner paddles have a heavier swing weight than the thicker paddles, which generally doesn't happen when it comes to pickleball paddles. Usually the thicker paddles have a higher swing weight, and both of these weighed 8.1 ounces right out of the box. I'm just stating that for the people who are curious and worry about the actual static weight of the paddles. When it came to the twist weights of these paddles, the 12.7 had a 7.08 twist weight, and the 14 millimeter had a 6.55 twist weight. Okay, if you know about twist weight, 6.5 is considered average, and most paddles that are 12 and 14 millimeters generally have a lower twist weight. I was mind blown when I tested these paddles, to be honest with you. I expected the twist weights to be a lot lower than they were. I was really confused. I tested them several times, and I was like, okay. I was like, Paddletek did it. I was like, they've got really, really good twist weights. And the crazy part is, it converts over to sweet spot as well. Didn't add any lead tape whatsoever. Didn't think of lead tape. I didn't think I would need to add it on the 12 or the 14 millimeter. The sweet spot felt big enough. I could do whatever I wanted to without having to worry about the ball dying off the face. Whatever Paddletek's doing to get these twist weights to where they are, I like it. Because these are really high twist weights, and I did not expect it from these paddles, to be honest with you. All right, when it comes to value for your money, these haven't been released yet, but under the assumption that they're going to be the same price as the Annalee Waters paddle, which was $230, that's kind of pricey. Like, you guys know I hate recommending paddles over $200. Now, I will recommend a paddle over $200 if I think it has a place for certain players. Now, are you a player who plays crazy aggressive, who does a lot of drives, who is constantly applying pressure? If so, the 12mm paddle is definitely going to be one for you. I like this way more than I do the Gearbox, Power Pro, Integra, or Fusion, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's a way better paddle overall. I can easily recommend this to people who are very aggressive. In fact, I've recommended it to a couple of people that I play with up in Knoxville. So overall, yeah, this is a recommendable paddle to certain people. If you're just a dinker and you play soft and you rely on the other people to make mistakes, then no, this paddle won't be for you. This is for the aggressive person that goes out there and tries to light you up when they're playing pickleball. But until next time, stay safe, have a good day, drink plenty of water. Peace, y'all.